Hello students, good morning to everyone. So in the last class we discussed the applications of equilibrium constant. So in that applications, detection of extent of the reaction, the second one detection of direction of the reaction, and the third one equilibrium calculation of equilibrium concentrations of reactants or products. So in that third application we discuss the HI formation from hydrogen and iodine. H2 plus I2 gives rise to 2HI. For that equation, we derived the equation for Kc and as well as Kp. Now, in this session, we are continuing with dissociation of PCl5 and formation of ammonia from nitrogen and hydrogen. So, the first one is dissociation of PCl5. So, if you take the PCl5, phosphorus pentachloride, PCl5 dissociate into PCl3 and Cl2. So phosphorus pentachloride dissociating into phosphorus trichloride plus chlorine. So let us consider initially A moles of PCl5 we have taken in the volume of vessel V. Okay, so initial moles, how many moles we have taken? A moles we have taken, and initially we have taken only reactants, not the products, so it will be 0 and 0. Out of A moles, let us imagine X moles have been dissociated. So number of moles reacted. How many moles have been reacted? X moles have been reacted. If X moles reacted, or if X moles are dissociated, then it produces X moles of PCl3 and X moles of chlorine. Why? Because in this equation, 1 mole of PCl5 dissociating into 1 mole of PCl3 and 1 mole of Cl2. Then X moles are dissociated, then they produces X moles of PCl3 and X moles of Cl2. That is why X moles have been reacted and they produces X moles of PCl3 and X moles of Cl2. Then equilibrium number of moles, remaining number of moles at equilibrium. So what is the remaining? Out of A moles, X moles are dissociated. So what is the remaining moles? A minus X. So here X and here X. Understood? So A minus X moles are there and X moles are produced here and X moles of chlorine produced at equilibrium. So if number of moles are A minus X, then what is active mass? Active mass also we call it as equilibrium concentrations. Equilibrium concentrations. What is the equilibrium concentration? Number of moles divided by their volume. So what is the volume we assumed? V volume. So active mass of PCl5 becomes A minus X by V, and PCl3 becomes X by V, and chlorine becomes X by V. So active mass is nothing but number of moles divided by volume. What is the number of moles? A minus X, and the volume is V. So A minus X by V, and active mass of PCl3 will be X by V, and active mass of chlorine will be X by V. So now by using these equilibrium concentrations, by applying the law of mass action. So what is the law of mass action? According to law of mass action, equilibrium constant Kc, equilibrium constant with respect to concentration. Kc is nothing but it's the ratio between molar concentration, product of molar concentrations of products by to the product of molar concentrations of reactants. So simply we write Kc is nothing but molar concentrations of products divided by molar concentrations of reactants. P stands for products, R stands for reactants. Now Kc is nothing but how many of products in the given equation? 2 products. If two or more than two products are there, we should take its multiplication. So molar concentrations of PCl3, that is PCl3 molar concentration into chlorine molar concentration divided by PCl5 molar concentration. Now substitute the values. What is the PCl3 molar concentration? X by V. So X by V into X by V divided by, what is the molar concentration of PCl5? That is A minus X by V. Okay, X by V into X by V, that is X square by V square divided by A minus X by V. If you bring this denominator to numerator, this denominator will be in the numerator. So finally Kc becomes X square by A minus X into V. Kc is nothing but X square by A minus X into V. This is a Kc formula. Once we know the Kc, from the Kc we can derive the Kp also. As we know, what is the relation between Kp, Kc? Kp is nothing but Kc into Rt to the power of delta Ng. Kp is equal to Kc into Rt to the power of delta Ng. So already we know the Kc formula, Kc value. Now Kp is equal to Kc. What is the Kc value? X square by A minus X into V. A minus X into V into Rt to the power of, what is the del Ng value? What is the del Ng? It's the difference between the number of moles of gaseous products minus number of moles of gaseous reactants. Here how many of moles of gaseous products and reactants are there? If we see that physical state, PCl5 is a gas, PCl3 is also gas, chlorine is also gas. So number of moles of gaseous products are 1 plus 1, 2, and gaseous reactants are 1, 2 minus 1. So del Ng value, since del Ng value is equal to 2 minus 1, 2 minus 1 is equal to 1. So del Ng value becomes 1. And we know that according to ideal gas equation, PV is equal to nRT. From that, RT is equal to PV by N we can write. Where N is equal to what? N is equal to total number of moles of gases at equilibrium. Total number of moles of gases at equilibrium. What is the total number of moles of gases at equilibrium? See, if you see this number of moles at equilibrium, reactants are A minus X, products are X and X. So the sum of all this becomes the total number of moles. So if you add all this, A minus X plus X plus X, minus X plus X will be cancelled. Remaining is what? A plus X. So here N is equal to A minus X plus X plus X. So N is equal to A plus X. Now in the place of RT, I am going to substitute PV by N, and in the place of N, I am going to substitute A plus X. Let us see. Kp is equal to X square by A minus X into V. Now in the place of RT, what we have substituted? PV by N. Now in the place of N, Kp is equal to X square by A minus X into V. PV by, what is N? A plus X. Now V cancel. Remaining is Kp is equal to X square into P by A minus X into A plus X. So by using this formula, we can calculate Kp value of the dissociation of PCl5. So this is dissociation of PCl5, their Kc formula and Kp formula. Next we will discuss the formation of ammonia from nitrogen and hydrogen. Next, the formation of ammonia from nitrogen and hydrogen. If you see the formation of ammonia, this is what we call it as Haber's process. N2 plus 3H2 gives rise to 2NH3. That means 1 mole of nitrogen is reacting with 3 moles of hydrogen and produces 2 moles of ammonia. Here all are gases. So let us consider initially A moles of nitrogen. reacting with B moles of hydrogen, A moles of nitrogen and B moles of hydrogen we have taken in the volume of vessel V. Okay, so initial moles. What are the initial moles? So this is A moles and this is B moles. A moles we have taken and B moles of hydrogen we have taken, and this was 0. The reaction was not started, so the number of moles of products were 0. Now, in that among the A moles and B moles, let us imagine if X moles of nitrogen was reacted, X moles of nitrogen reacted, then that X moles of nitrogen will react with how many moles of hydrogen? See, in the stoichiometric equation, 1 mole of nitrogen is reacting with 3 moles of hydrogen. If 1 mole is reacting with 3 moles, then X moles of nitrogen will react with 3X moles. So, number of moles reacted, how many moles? If we consider X moles of nitrogen reacted, it will react with 3X moles of hydrogen and produces 2X moles of ammonia. Why? Because 1 mole of reacting with 3 moles of hydrogen producing 2 moles of ammonia. So then remaining moles at equilibrium. What is the remaining moles at equilibrium? Out of total A, X moles are reacted. So remaining moles will be A minus X. And what is the remaining moles of hydrogen? Total moles B. Out of B, 3X moles are reacted. So the remaining moles will be B minus 3X. And what is the moles of ammonia produced? 2X moles are produced. Then their active masses. Active masses. What is the formula for active masses? Number of moles divided by volume. What is the number of moles here? A minus X by V. And this is B minus 3X by V. And this is 2X by V. So now we know initial moles, number of moles reacted, remaining moles at equilibrium, and active masses. Now by using these active masses, let us recalculate the Kc and Kp as like previous. Now, as according to the law of mass action, Kc formula, the product of concentrations of products divided by product of concentrations of reactants. Yes, what is the products here? Ammonia. But only one. But the coefficient is 2. As per the law of mass action, if there was any coefficient before the reactants or products, then their coefficients becomes the power of the concentrations. So here this becomes power. See, Kc is nothing but concentration of ammonia square. The coefficient become power NH3 square, and nitrogen concentration into hydrogen cube. Why? Why? Because this coefficient 3 becomes what? Cube. Okay, now substitute the Kc concentration values. NH3 concentration is what? 2x by V. Okay, so 2x by V whole square, and nitrogen concentration A minus x by V, and hydrogen concentration B minus 3x by V. Clear? Now, cube, don't forget this cube. Now, Kc is equal to 2x by V whole square, means you remove this bracket, 2x square means 4x square by V square will come, 4x square by V square divided by A minus x into B minus 3x cube divided by V into V cube. V into V cube, V to the power of 4. Okay, now if you bring this V to the power of 4, this value to the numerator will be reverse. So, Kc is equal to 4x square by V square into, it will be flip into reverse. That is a V to the power of 4 by A minus x into B minus 3x whole cube. V square 4 becomes 2. Finally, Kc is equal to 4x square into V square by A minus x into B minus 3x cube. This is the formula to calculate what? Kc. From that Kc we can calculate the Kp. We know that Kp is nothing but Kc into RT to the power of delta n. Let us see. Then Kp is equal to Kc into RT to the power of del n. For this given reaction, what is the del Ng value? Number of moles of products are 2. Number of moles of reactants 1 plus 3, 4. So 2 minus 4. So del Ng value minus 2. So since del Ng value 2 minus 4, that is minus 2. Substitute Kp is equal to Kc value 4x square into V square by A minus x into B minus 3x whole cube into RT to the power of minus 2. RT to the power of minus 2. Since we know that in the place of RT, what we can write? PV by N we can write. Why? Because PV is equal to RT. Then RT is equal to PV by N. So let us substitute that. Then Kp is equal to 4x square into V square by A minus x B minus 3x whole cube into PV by N to the power of minus 2. Now this is a minus 2. If you reverse this, in the place of PV by N, if you write N by PV, the minus 2 becomes plus 2. So I am doing that interconversion. Kp is nothing but 4x square into V square by A minus x into B minus 3x whole cube into N by PV to the square. Now what is N here? Total number of moles of gases at equilibrium. What is the total number of moles at equilibrium? That is A minus x plus B minus 3x plus 2x. If you add these all, see, minus x minus 3x, total minus 4x plus, but plus 2x is there. So value will be A plus B minus 2x will be. Since N is equal to A plus B minus 2x. Substitute if you want. Finally, Kp is nothing but 4x square. And one more thing, this V square and this V square will be cancelled. So remaining is 4x square into N value A plus B minus 2x whole square by A minus x into B minus 3x whole cube. Remaining is P, that is P square. This is a formula to calculate Kp of the formation of ammonia from nitrogen and hydrogen. So this is about dissociation of PCl5 and formation of ammonia. So likewise, by using this number of moles, initial moles and number of moles consumed, we can calculate equilibrium concentration of any of the reactant or product. Okay. Next, move on to the factors influencing the position of equilibrium. Yes, as we know, most of the reactions are reversible reactions. That means they are not going to completely finish. 100% finish doesn't take place. Whereas industrially, in order to get more yields, we should know the factors which are responsible to bring the position of equilibrium from one place to another place. So to understand that, the scientist Lee Chatelier have given a principle. So that principle we call it as what? Lee Chatelier principle. And this Lee Chatelier principle explains about the factors which are influencing the position of equilibrium. Okay, so Lee Chatelier principle. Yes, what is a Lee Chatelier principle? According to Lee Chatelier, whenever the system is at equilibrium, suppose already the system is at equilibrium. When the system is at equilibrium, if there was any disturbance, so disturbance like addition of reactants or removal of products, or increasing the pressure or decreasing the pressure, or change of temperature, or addition of any other inert gases, likewise. So when the system is at equilibrium, if there was any disturbance, then the equilibrium itself change itself. In order to changes means either it may move to right side or it may move to left side. The equilibrium itself changes its position in order to nullify the effect of change or effect of disturbance. So to reduce the damage of the disturbance, the equilibrium either it may move to right side or left side, and that principle we call it as what? Le Chatelier principle. Once again, when the system is at equilibrium, if there was any disturbance, then the equilibrium will shift or change its position in order to nullify the effect of that change, and that is called Le Chatelier principle. Here I am writing the principle statement. It states that when the system is at equilibrium, if there was any disturbance, I'm not writing the disturbances all here. If there was any disturbance, then the system, then the equilibrium adjusts itself, in order to nullify the effect of change or effect of disturbance. So that statement we call it as what? Le Chatelier principle. In this Le Chatelier principle, we will discuss effect of change of concentrations. First one is effect of change of concentration. I told you disturbances, changing the concentrations of reactants or products, or increasing the pressure or decreasing the pressure, increasing the temperature or decreasing the temperature, or any addition of catalysts or any other addition of inert gases. These all are disturbances. So let us discuss these all disturbances one by one, how they affects the position of equilibrium. The first one is effect of change of concentration. Next one, effect of pressure. Next one, effect of temperature and catalyst, and the last one, addition of inert gases. These are the 5 factors we are going to discuss in this Le Chatelier principle. So the first one is effect of change of concentrations. So this is just imaginary part, no? You just hallucinate what's happening. So effect of change of concentration. So let us consider the system is at equilibrium. Now this is just imagine this is the reactants, these are the products. Okay, now they both are at equilibrium. How can you say there's an equilibrium? At equilibrium, when the system is at equilibrium, there was no change of concentrations of reactants and products. That is the indication. So there was no change in the concentration of reactant, there was no change in the concentration of product. That means they both are at equilibrium. Now when the system is at equilibrium, suddenly there was a disturbance. What is that? I have added some more concentration of reactants. So disturbance. So if you add more concentrations of reactants, then how the equilibrium will adjust? So according to Le Chatelier, the equilibrium is always tries to consume that added concentration. So the equilibrium is always trying to consume it. So to consume the reactants, suppose if the equilibrium consume reactants are converting into products, na? So the reaction, conversion of reactants into products, what we call forward reaction. Okay, so if you increase the concentrations of reactants, the reaction is favorable to forward. Okay, or else system is at equilibrium. Now we are disturbing the system by removing the products. I removed the products, so the concentration decrease. So then how the system, how the equilibrium exists? So the equilibrium will tries to increase the concentrations of products. How it will tries to increase the concentration of products? By converting the reactants into products. So it is also favorable to forward direction. So the two factors favorable to forward direction is either increasing the concentration of reactants or decreasing the concentrations of products. So here I am writing forward reaction. Forward reaction is favorable by increasing the concentration of reactants or decreasing the concentrations of products. These are the two factors which are favorable for the forward direction or forward reaction. Coming to backward reaction. So backward means conversion of products back into reactants. Tell me, how can we direct the reaction to backward? So this is the system at equilibrium. If you increase the product concentration, then equilibrium is trying to decrease the concentration of products by converting them into reactant. So it is favorable to backward. Or if you remove the concentrations of reactants, that is also favorable to backward. So according to the Lee chart here, the backward reaction favorable conditions are increasing the concentrations of products or decreasing the concentrations of reactants. These are the two favorable conditions for the backward reaction that he explained by using an example. He has taken H2 plus I2 gives rise to 2HI. HI formation reaction they have taken. Now they both are at equilibrium. Now suddenly what they did, they increased the concentrations of iodine. So iodine is nothing but reactants. Na? If you increase the concentration of reactants, it's favorable to forward direction. So if you increase either the concentration of hydrogen or iodine, favorable to forward direction, or if you increase the concentration of HI, it is favorable to backward direction. So to understand that, he has taken initially, 0.2 moles, 0.1 mole, and this is 1 molar. So this is the equilibrium concentrations. The equilibrium concentrations of H2, I2, HI he has given. That is, at equilibrium, HI concentration is 1 molar and I2 is 0.1 molar and H2 is what? 0.2 molar. Now suddenly what happened? He added iodine. How many moles of iodine he has added? He has added the iodine, that is adding or disturbance. What is the disturbance here? Disturbance is nothing but addition of iodine. So how many moles are added? 0.1 moles he has added. Let us imagine, by adding 0.1 mole of iodine, he is disturbing the system. So after immediate disturbance, the concentrations or number of moles after disturbance. What is the number of moles of all after disturbance? It remains the same, and it becomes 0.1 plus 0.1. What is that? 0.2, and it will remains 1. Okay, and the number of moles reacted, let us consider here x moles are reacted, here also x moles are reacted, and they produces 2x moles. Why? Because 1 mole of hydrogen and 1 mole of iodine, they produces 2 moles of HI. If x moles are reacted, then they definitely produces 2x moles. Then the number of moles at new equilibrium will be total moles 0.2 out of x moles are reacted, so it will be 0.2 minus x. This is hydrogen, and iodine also 0.2 minus x, and HI will be 1 already there. To this 1 molar, this 2x moles are additional, so that is 1 plus 2x. 1 plus 2x. This is what number of moles at new equilibrium. So if this is a number of moles, then what? It's the equilibrium concentrations. Concentrations will be by volume. that is 0.2 minus x by v. This is also 0.2 minus x by v. This is 1 plus 2x by v. But he has given after some time the new equilibrium concentration of HI. Equilibrium concentration of HI they given, that is 1.096. Okay, 1.096 new equilibrium concentration. New equilibrium concentration has given. So, not this is the new equilibrium moles, number of moles of HI they given. So, what is this 1 plus 2x value they given? So, 1 plus 2x is equal to 1.096. Then 2x is equal to 0.096. Then x value will be 0.048. So this is the x value. You subtract this x value from this, then we will get the equilibrium moles at a new equilibrium. Number of moles of H2, I2 and HI at a new equilibrium. And by using that new equilibrium moles, if you calculate the QC value, okay, unfortunately that QC value and the before KC value, they both are equal. That means disturbing the concentration of either reactants or products will just change the position of equilibrium, but it will never alters the equilibrium constant. That point you should remember. So this is about effect of change of concentration. Once again, increasing the concentrations of reactants, suppose reactants to products, increasing the concentration of reactants favorable to forward, decreasing the concentration of products also favorable to forward. Second one, increase in the concentration of products favorable to backward, or decrease in the concentration of reactants also favorable to backward. So if you understand this logic, you can easily understand this Lee Chatelier principle. Next, move on to the second fact. Effect of pressure. The pressure will be effective only for gaseous reactions. Okay, why? Because the effect of pressure on solids and liquids is negligible. So that is why only for gaseous reactions only the pressure will be effect. Coming to that, this effect of pressure depends upon their delta Ng values. So the effect of pressure on gaseous reactions, so depends upon delta Ng values. Let us see how. If delta Ng value is greater than 0, del Ng value is greater than 0. Greater than 0 means positive. If del Ng value was positive, when the del Ng value was positive, when the number of moles of products are greater than reactants. This is possible only when Np greater than Nr. So if del Ng value was positive, then the increased pressure favorable to backward and the decreased pressure favorable to forward. Okay, increased pressure is favorable to backward, decreased pressure is always favorable to forward reaction. Suppose if, I will tell you the reason after that, if del Ng value was less than 0 means it was negative. If it is negative, number of moles of products is lesser than number of moles of reactants, then only del Ng value was negative. In that case, increased pressure is favorable to forward and decreased pressure is favorable to backward. Just remember this logic, you can easily answer all questions related to this effect of pressure. Now, why this happens? Let us just give an example. A classroom. Let us imagine this is in our classroom. In a classroom, in this volume, 30 members have sat. 30 members. Suddenly what happened? They moved the wall of the classroom into exactly half. Okay, so if they increase the pressure, by increasing the pressure they reduced the volume. Why? Because pressure and volume both are inversely proportional. So by increasing the pressure, if they reduce the volume, then what our management system will do? So according to the volume, volume becomes half. So the strength also becomes half. So they reduce the strength from 30 to 15. Na? Similarly, if you increase the pressure, what happened? The volume reduced. So if the volume reduced, then the system is trying to reduce, they are trying to move towards the lesser number of moles, towards a fewer number of moles. In which direction number of moles are lesser, into that direction the system always moves. See this, in this case delta Ng value is positive, NP value, number of moles of products are greater than reactant. That means where is in which side reactant number of moles are lesser? Reactant side. That is why increased pressure is favorable to backward direction. Okay, so in this case del Ng value was negative. Here NP is lesser than NR, means products number of moles are lesser. So product side lesser number of moles are there. So in this case increased pressure is favorable to forward direction. So always according to Le-Chatelier, what they said, if you increase the pressure, it reduces the volume according to Boyle's law. If the volume was reduced, then to compensate that disturbance, the equilibrium shifts to the direction where the lesser number of moles are present. Okay, so that effect was explained by Le-Chatelier. It's the effect of pressure. So, and one more thing, if so del Ng value positive we discuss, del Ng value negative we discuss. Suppose in few cases if del Ng value is equal to 0, if the del Ng value is equal to 0, then in that system there was no effect of pressure on that system. So best example, H2 plus I2 gives rise to 2Hi. So here number of moles of products are 2, reactants also 2, 2 minus 2, 0. In this system there was no effect of pressure. Even if you increase the pressure or decrease the pressure, there was no change in the position of equilibria. So the 3 points to remember: del Ng value positive, del Ng value negative, del Ng value 0. So next class we will discuss the remaining factor, that is effect of change of temperature, addition of catalyst and addition of inert gases. Until then, take care. Bye bye.